afternoon, everybody. A very warm welcome to the 24 hours of F1. And just like that, we're about to get underway with the first lobby, which is taking place in Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It was the first round a couple of years ago, actually. So kind of a bit of a deja vu, as it were. We've got loads of commentators commentating for you tonight. One of which joining alongside me, Jess Ball in the commentary box, and he's joining the stream for the next 3 hours. We've got Nathan Richards. Hello, Richie. How you doing?
Hello, yeah, I'm great. It's the first time I commentated on this event, so it's going to be quite fun. I did a 24-hour event or something like that last week, so back-to-back 24-hour events here on my Saturday and Sunday. So, yes, it's one up with the most ideal do 3 hours in a row, but either way, it's going to be great racing the whole way through, so I'm sure it'll fly by. And I've been looking through at some of the rosters, and, well, I've got to say we've got some quite fast drivers here to over the course of the weekend.
Yes, we do. And we've got 20 teams, as Jack was going through just a little bit earlier on as well. But we will go through, actually, the drivers that are going to be racing in Jeddah. They may have changed since it was posted. We got Kian Lutard for ABS Racing Team. I first commentated on him last week. We got Rotation for Cone Racing Team. AJ for Contest of Speed. We're about to go underway. So we've got Nick G for Contest of Speed Esports. We've got Brendan Cazizzel, Chalkers Dairy, J. Cole, Kian Folly, Mazipola, Matthias Dari, Killian Rasik, Kian Vaporizer, Leroy Hasselager, Sin07 and Jeslar. And the team that's going to be starting last is Cone Racing Team. So they will have to serve a quali ban, basically go backwards, and they're not allowed to set a lap time. So Jeddah, one of the highest speed track on the calendar. And over to you, Richie. I believe you're on board with Kian. Is that correct? Or are you on board with someone else?
We are. Yes, we're on board with Kian, heading down towards turn number 1. Obviously, one of the quicker drivers, I think, here that's going to be racing tonight for the Green Fly Racing Team, which I believe is a bit of a change to their normal team, which is F7R. So it's pretty much the same team, just they've just got a different name on here tonight. And to be fair, it's actually quite a nice green and black livery. Just heading through now in towards this first sector range. Quite a difficult section. You can get it wrong, and if you go a little bit wide, that can ruin the whole momentum throughout the sector, and can lose you half, tenth, a tenth, maybe even more on your lap time. Just coming through here towards the end of that first sector. We'll see what he can set in the first sector when it pops up on our screen. The lap time will be in the first sector, 33.1314. The Green Fly Racing driver coming out through and towards turn 3, turn at the long banked left-hander, back on the power as you head down in towards the high-speed chicane at turns 14 and 15. Just shift down to about 5th gear, get the power back on early as possible as you come out of the corner, and then get a nice exit you can see coming through. Going to get very close on the exit. Great job so far from Kian, who's currently sitting down in P15, so not normally where we expect to see Kian going up at least. So we'll keep on board with him for now as he comes through in towards turns 22, 3 and 24. We can see obviously at the moment the top is TS with Kian race set, but we'll keep on board with Kian for now as he heads down out towards turn 27. A long run in towards this final corner at this circuit. Obviously this is where Max Verstappen had his faithful ending to his lap back in 2021. We'll see if Kian can manage any better as he comes down in towards that final couple of corners, down towards turn 77, back on the panel as he heads up towards the line. At the moment, not looking to be any higher than 15th on my screen, it says at least. So he heads through towards the line. It will be 1 minute 28.533. As you can see, Killian Racek went fastest there, and it was only by 5 thousandths of a second to Vaporizer in second. Brilliant lap times between the two.
So Thomas Eng Sim Racing out on top then. I think between them and Green Flying Racing, I think, is when we're going to see the battle ensue today. But you never know, there could be some other faster teams of that. ABS Racing Team, of course, we're doing well on the other event we commentated on. We both commentated on the same event, but we never commentated alongside each other. So there we go. We are opening it anyway. So we got Killian Racing for Thomas Eng Sim Racing in P1. We got Vaporizer for NSX in P2. We got Cazizzel for EMM in P3. Don't bother me pronouncing the full name, please. We got ABS Akina Lutard in 4th. We got QBR in 5th with Matt. We got Daniel Gaming in 6th. I believe I'm trying to remember which team that is. We got Jeslar in 7th, and we got George VRT in 8th. 9th is Contest of Speed, and I'll go through the rest of the grid because it's just too hard to scroll. But that's the rest of your order. And of course, we've got the Cone Racing Team starting at the back, and a few people, Richie, did not get their lap times in on time. Just a few things to mention. Clear weather for most of the races apart from 2. So there are 2 races where we're going to have full wet weather. Parc Ferme is off, no safety cars, and formation lap is off. So that's just a few things to get in mind. So I'm glad that the wheel was spun at Jeddah, which means that they don't get a wet race around here, which is probably better than a lot of rain, to be honest. But we'll see.
Yes, I think this track being dry is probably the most ideal scenario. I've commentated one wet race and it wasn't ideal to say the least. And with it being dry, I think it's going to make it a lot easier for all the drivers as well who never drive in the wet, barely on the game. Never mind driving on the wet in Jeddah. So yes, it gives them a little bit less pressure for them going towards this race, which should start hopefully soon.
Yes, we don't get the countdown, unfortunately, on this game. We get it for one-shot qualifying, so surely that should be an easy thing to code in the game, co-masters. Anyway, and I see a lot of you watching on the stream currently. We've got 94 people watching the stream, which is absolutely amazing. So keep them coming in. We're raising money for special effect. We will play the special effect video at some point throughout the stream. There's no point me doing it for this hour because I'm only going to be on for an hour, but when I'm next on, I'll probably play it for one of the hours on that stream. But
£250 donation.
Wow, who's
From
that?
ERT, £250.
Elite Racing Team. They like to give the big money early doors. Really, I'm not really that surprised. So thanks to the guys at Elite Racing Team for sending in that donation. That puts us to over 400 quid now. And if you
500.
Always about 500. My maths is wrong, by the way. By the way, the Twitch will need to be updated with the link. So if any of the admins could put the link to the Just Giving in the chat, that would be amazing. But we are about to get underway. The 5 red lights around Jeddah with these lovely multiplayer car liveries is go. Looks like Thomas van Killian is getting a very good start as they make their way towards turn number 1. A few people will probably want a bit wide as one car has gone off already. I will double check who that is in already. Keenan Lutar from ABS had a good start up into 4th. Matthias in 5th spot. We got some yellow flag. Jedzler has had an awful start. Same with Derry as well. Kian trying to make his way up the field down the inside past Derry then. So he's loving life in that green flight racing car. ERT has had a good start as well. EMM is up to 3rd as well. So a lot of people have made good starts, but there's a few stragglers at the back. Not a good start that Jezza would need in the 24 hours.
Definitely not, but we're going to fight the lead for at the front with Killian and Vaporizer. Vaporizer trying to go around the outside at turn number 13. That will not work. They have to try and fix up somewhere else along the so you can see Kazizel and Keanu sitting comfortably in behind as they head down towards turns number 22, and actually Kazizel's going to go from moving out to the inside of Vaporizer. They'll still go side by side, and actually I think Kazizel backed out. They did, as that's a bit of a spin further back from Jezler again at a turn 13. I believe or someone else had a bit of a mistake somewhere on the circuit. Now you can still see that the top 4 separated by 0.8 of a second as they head down towards turns 27. You can see Vaporizer gaining in on the back of Killian. Has to go to the inside line. They're heading towards the braking zone. Will he get himself ahead for the lead as they head down? Yes, he will. Vaporizer takes the lead as they head down in towards that final corner. Also, you can see Kazizel looking for a move, and also Keanu as well as we're on board with him heading down towards turn 1. Killian's got a decent run out of the final corner. He's going to try and take that lead back from Vaporizer as they head down towards that first corner. It's about 30,000 separating the two as they head into the break zone. Side by side action between the two leaders, and Killian takes that lead back here on lap 225. Further back, we can see J. Cole getting himself ahead of Lars down for P15 and P16, but still between the top 4. Jess, I think this battle's going to go on all race long.
Yes, the top 5 at the moment are on the soft compounded tyres. We've got Daniel Gaming and AJ on the mediums. No one has opted for the hard compounded tyres. Softs can last quite a bit around here, so not really that surprised. And reminder, every team have got to complete a mandatory 2-stop for each race. The only exception is the 2 wet races. That will be a 1-stop. So if they don't complete their 2 stops, they will be automatically disqualified. And I'm kind of used to commentating on 2 stops because I do it for One Hub. So we will be monitoring that throughout the races, and if anyone's been a naughty boy, then we will tell them off for that. And if they retire in the pit, that's -5 points. So that pretty much encourages people to just keep going, even though they're a lap down. As Jezza, by the way, has opted for the hard compounded tyres as well. Link is posted in the chat, by the way, if you want to donate. Let's see who has gained the most positions, actually, out of all the drivers. Hold on.
Ian, probably.
Brendan, actually. Brendan up 6, Kian up 5. So Brendan doing a great job as Kyan and Darry side by side heading towards the final few corners, and Kyan is up into 12th spot. So on DRS will be enabled soon. Now we've got a battle for the lead once again, Richie.
Then towards turn one, and not enough yet to take the lead is Vaporizer, but he's getting in quickly on the back of Killian. But we know that the DRS always, when it's a DRS around here, you'll always just stick behind. There's no point making much of an overtake if you're going to go for the lead, because all you'll do is get passed back by the next lap with how overpowered that DRS is down in towards the braking zones. We can see further ahead, Keen going up ahead of George now. So they head through towards turn four, so into that top 9 is Keen going up for the Green Fly Racing team, as they all fed through that first set yet again, and Keen getting in very quickly on the back of Folly, who obviously has got the soft tyres, so will be quicker, or should be quicker at this point in the race. Obviously Folly for the IRT team, that very nice blue and silver liveries. They all fly down towards turn 13. You can see Keen gaining in quickly, that gap 0.3 of a second there. That second two between Folly and AJ has gone up, so this means there'll be no DRS for Folly on this next part of the circuit. They all head down towards turn 20 soon, shortly, and Keen has a bit of a snap, but these medium tyres to get them warmed up does take a little bit longer. There will also be a little bit less grip on those mediums at the start of the race, and obviously when they've got higher fuel, also that will come in towards the fact. But you can see Keen is getting in quickly on sure. Jesse will get past Folly probably within the next lap or the lap after.
Yes, indeed, and bearing in mind the soft runners will be pitting soon, because the softs, well, optimum pace is about 6-7 laps. So we got, I think, Keen Gondorp going side by side with Folly there, but he couldn't quite do it at the moment. So I wonder if we can see some DRS chicken. There's a little bit of a squirm heading towards the final corner. Bearing in mind, all assists are allowed in this 24-hour event, as Vaporizer does get past Killian once again and up into the lead for NXX, because it'll hang a bit of slight of oversteering towards turn 2. And we can see, I think, Matthias there for in 5th spot, trying to get past Kino Lutar, but couldn't quite do it, unfortunately. So we are starting to see the mediums catch up a little bit to the softs. And I always tend to have a bit of bad luck around here, Richie, because I've DNF'd, out of the 2 races I've done, I've DNF'd in both of them. One was lap 3. Second one was I only lasted 4 corners because someone oversteered into me. But we did apologise afterwards, of course. But yeah, I'm glad I'm in the commentary box for this rather than racing, because I don't think I would have lasted this long as well. But yeah, I think we could see some DRS chicken techniques, especially around here, and also Las Vegas a little bit later on as well. I think some of these tracks where DRS follows after each other, we could see some tactics. But Killian's still following Vaporizer through, same with Cazizzo as well.
Yeah, we're just heading through towards turn 24. I can see that Cazizzo getting a little bit snappy on the exit, so that gives Keanu a good run down towards that final corner. That's Folly into the session. Bit of a crash there down at turn 22, and George getting caught up in it as well. 2 of them out of the session. We've got Nicholas and Dari as well with damage on their front wings. As you can see, Hasselogger getting through as he heads down towards turn 27. But that's about, 4 cars involved there in that incident down at the 22 through to 24 chicane. And also we've got no safety car. But we can see further back, Brendan.
No safety cars. There's no safety cars in this event. I forgot to tell you about that. Meanwhile, Killian gets past Vaporizer up into P1 once again, but we got Matt and Daniel side by side through turns 2 and 3. Daniel keeping on the power with the more durable tyre as they head towards this very twisty part of the circuit. The apexes can be very blind for any driver, and we are starting to see that the mediums are the more favourable tyre for Daniel, so he's going to try and get past, hopefully, fingers crossed. So bearing in mind as well, you only score points if you finish. If you finish, you score points. So for the I need to try and remember what team Folly is in, but for IRT and for ERT, they're not going to score any points in this first round. So that means they're going to be a huge disadvantage compared to the other 18 teams out on circuit.
Yeah, they're going to be on a big back foot bad. Can't get my words out. Come on. On a big back foot. There we are. Going in towards the next couple players. I can see Keane trying to get himself through ahead of Daniel, as well as Daniel's also getting in on Matt as well in towards this next section. So we can see the softs. Maybe they're starting to have a bit of a downfall now in this race. Only 5 laps in, so it wouldn't be ideal for the softs to be done already. Obviously, they do have to do a 2-stop in this race. They do have to pit against. So you can see Daniel get himself through as they head down towards 27. Matai is going to try and get himself back through, and we can't. He sticks behind as they head down in towards that braking zone. And just have got to say, these liveries are absolutely beautiful in every single car.
Yes, and and the other admins as well, we get to pick the best one. And to be honest, I don't know which one to pick at the moment. Luckily, we got 24, well, pretty much 22 races to decide the best one, and they get points for it. So we won't know who's won the championship until we pick those liveries. There's a bit of bump and drive. Oh my goodness, that was Daniel having a bit of a tank slapper there. As we've got a few people doing their first stops. We've got Killian, Cadillo, Lars and Jacob getting their first stops out of the way. And we do know the undercut is very powerful on this game. So Killian trying to get the advantage on Vaporizer early on as well. But Vaporizer and Keenan Lutard is staying out. But there's some races where people will stay out for a safety car. But of course, we have no safety cars in the 24 hours. They will just have to rely on pretty much their skill, and hopefully they don't go into the wall. And even though they got damage earlier on in the race, maybe some of them that already done their stops early can go for a different strategy, just like we're seeing with Jesler at the moment. We did originally plan for a safety car, but it was going to be too much work otherwise. So no safety cars. Otherwise, we'll be here all day, and we would be over 25 hours sorted. So we'll see if Vaporizer will potentially come into the pits now. I think he's got to now, hasn't he, Richie?
Yeah, he's got Keanu behind us, so I think these two will either make their way into the pits now, or maybe on that next lap we can see Killian, Kazizel, Lars all went onto a set of medium tyres. Further back we can see Dario G there in 8th position, making a position ahead of Hasselager to put himself into 8th. Great move there by the
Leroy's coming back.
RDR.
Leroy's coming back to the inside, heading towards the final corner. He's actually going to try and go around the outside as well, so he's not giving up. I wonder if both of them will be coming into the pits. I don't think they will, but we got Keenan Lutard and Matthias into the pit lane. Leroy's past Derry, but Derry's going to get the slipstream in towards turn number 1. Is he going to go the inside route? Yes, he does, and he gets back past Leroy up into 6th spot. So Killian and Kazizel both go ahead of Keenan Lutard in the pits. So if I was Vaporizer, Richie, I would be very worried.
Yeah, I think he should come in very shortly. He's got a 1.9 second gap to Kean. Remember, Kean started down, I think it was in 16th position, so he's gained a lot of positions. And obviously, Kean going a little bit later on that strategy has brought him up to now 2nd position. He's only 2 seconds back off of the leader, so you'd think Vaporizer soon would think about starting to come into the pits and pop himself onto a new set of medium tyres. Obviously, the 2-stop is mandatory. I don't know what strategy is best, whether it's soft, medium, soft, soft. I don't have a clue at all, so we'll leave that down to the drivers in this race, and potentially as well if they have any engineers with them in their VCs. But you can see the gap between Kean and Vaporizer not coming down that much. It's just sticking around that 2 second, 1.9 second mark. Daniel is gaining in on Kean, however, down towards turn 27. So we'll see if we see a swap for 2nd between Kean and Daniel. They all head down out in towards 27 to the nose. It's back once that DRS does Daniel. And you can see as well, AJ obviously racing for Koss. He's heading through towards the final corner as well to catch up on this battle for 2nd position. They head down towards turn 1, and Kean into bits off of the medium tyres, so he's going very early off those mediums, so we'll see what tyres he goes on to. As we can see further back, Killian getting a move there ahead of Kazizel in towards that final corner. Also Hasselager is ahead of Derry as well down towards the final corner, so we've got people, Jess, that have already pitted catching up to people that haven't.
Yes, that is going to be interesting. We'll keep an eye on Killian and Kazizel as Kazizel tries to launch for a move in towards turn number 1, and he does it. So Kazizel for EMM takes the lead of this race, a net race lead, and he goes ahead of Keenan Lutard and Vaporizer. So Vaporizer staying out. It's not helping one bit, and he just about gets ahead of Keenan Lutard there in towards turn 1 and 2. So yeah, if I were you, probably staying out was not the best decision for Vaporizer. So if I was him, maybe go for an early pit stop for your 2nd stop to take advantage. And look at the time, Richie, that he's lost to the likes of Killian and Kazizel in front. He's lost about 2 seconds already.
Yeah, but obviously with him having that undercut, the overcut, sorry, will become a lot quicker near the end of the stint. Obviously, when those tyres get warmed up and they're in their prime. But for now, we will be a little bit further back. Just had to try catch up back to that 1 second of Killian and Kazizel. And the issue with this track is, on some tracks you can gain back quickly, but with this being, the DRS being such a powerhouse down this circuit, sometimes it is hard to get yourself back into that 1 second gap without losing lots of time. Without losing lots of battery, because it's either one of the two. You either have to stay behind or use your battery and catch up. So that is an issue that Vaporizer and Keanu will have to face on this next part of this medium stint. You can see further back, Kean going up onto a set of soft tyres, so we'll see if he's going to maybe go for a medium soft. As you can see, Daniel and AJ into the pits now for their respective teams. Further up, we can see Kazizel yet again gaining in on gaining in on Killian, in towards that final corner, down towards turn 1. We'll see who takes that net lead. Will it be Kazizel back to the outside, or will he choose to sit behind? No, he looks to make that move down towards turn number 1 for EMM. Takes the net lead back again from the Thomas Young Sim Racing team. You can see Vaporizer still ahead of Keanu, and Daniel as well, he just heading at the pits, Keane going up, catching on not very nicely to the back of the top 4. He's got a 2.4 second gap. And after he started on the back 5, he's doing a decent job to catch up to the field. Matt as well, he's about a second back from Keane, so we'll see if he can try and pull himself along with the Greenfly Racing car and get himself also in that battle for the top 5.
Yes, the top 5 is definitely heating up, but the ones who are near the back is important that they do not give up, as Matt has taken an interesting line through the first sector. I wonder if he's got a warning for that. Track limits are on, and I'm surprised we haven't got any penalties yet, because if I was racing, I would have got penalties galore here. So I think Matt has definitely got a warning for his respective team, of course. It is multiplayer cars for this year's event, which makes it harder for us as commentators to look at which team is where, but I have got the list somewhere, so I'll keep you up to date who's racing for who, as we've got Daniel trying to get past Matt in towards the end of the second sector, which he does on the medium tyre, so that fresher rubber, he's warmed those up quite quickly, so great job for him so far.
Yeah, and also AJ there making a move as well on Matt as well, down in towards turn 27. To the inside on he goes. And he will put himself just ahead as they head in towards that braking zone. There we are, 7th position now for AJ, and he's got to try and catch up and get past Daniel if he can do. Obviously, Daniel's got a 4-second gap as Killian yet again has a bit of a fight then towards turn 1 with Kazizel, keeps that lead again ahead of the EMM driver. Then we can see AJ now to the inside of Daniel, flies past with those fresher soft tyres. No real risk needed there from AJ to get himself ahead of Daniel as they now fly out to turns 2 and 3. We'll see if AJ can try and pull away now in the end of this first and in the middle set. That's what he needs to do. He needs to get himself out that 1-second gap too. Daniel, if he can, to get rid of that threat from Daniel and Matt behind. Also, we can see Kingtix as well going to be starting to gain, and he's got those 5-lap old mediums, so he pitted quite early off of his soft tyres. So we'll see if he can also try and catch up to this train before he makes his second pit stop in this race. And actually, Daniel's held on pretty well to the back of AJ, even though he's got a harder compound of tyre. They head out of turn 13 down towards turns 14 and 15. He's lost a bit of time here, but I think Jesse should comfortably stay within a second as Hasselager gets himself ahead of Nicholas as well down in P14. Obviously, Hasselager's racing for team speed here to this weekend. As we can see further up, we can see Vaporizer make a move past Kazizel. That was close to contact between second and third. They head down towards the final corner, and yes, again, just the top 4 still at it.
Yeah, and don't forget, this is Pride for the 24 Hours event. This is the event where everyone has been looking forward to all year, and they want to win. And NXX won last year's event, I believe, and they were remembering someone who died last year as well. So it was very fitting that they won last year. It got down to, I think, the last race in Bahrain. So it was great to see as Kina Lutar trying to get past Kazizel in towards turn number 1. I don't think Kazizel was expecting that. They make a little bit of contact there, just banging wheels, but looks like they're A-OK. Oh, Caldy Kazizel, I think he avoided damage. I hope so, because otherwise he's going to struggle with the likes of King Godendorp and AJ. We got Matt, who's come in for a change of front wing, so he's got front wing damage, I presume, but I think he's got his 2 stops out of the way. I don't know how he's going to get those mediums to the end, though. That's going to be a really tough ask. So I've seen 2-stop races around here, and they pit for mediums around about lap 14, 15. I don't think it could last this long, but drivers are at the top of their game. We're just commentators. We league race, but not as good as these guys out on track. As a yellow flag, that is someone at the...
Derry.
That is Derry from Relentless. So Relentless not having the best of races so far, but they pitted... Oh, no, they haven't pitted recently. They've done 6 laps, so... Yeah, that's not good for them, unfortunately. But let's jump back to the battle for the lead with Killian and Vaporizer. Still about a 2-depth gap between the two of them. And just look at the speed that Vaporizer is gaining on this back straight. If I were you, Vaporizer should stay back for Killian to get the DRS. But I wonder if there's tactics playing early on once again. I think Vaporizer knows what he's doing, but he's got to be careful that he does not lead everyone else away maybe on the final lap. Or maybe he wants to. If he wants to, he's got to increase that gap.
Yeah, and to be fair, I'm surprised that Keane hasn't gained in as much as I thought he would. That gap really hasn't come down that much over these past couple of laps, so we'll see if Keane can try and gain, but he needs to shortly film to get himself in this battle for the top 4 or get himself in battle for the podium. Remember, Keane did start down in, I believe it was 16th position going into this race, and people saying in the chat that it was AI that completed his lap because that lap was definitely far off where we'd normally see Keane. So yeah, he's doing a good job in that top 5 now. He's made what, so 11 positions without making many overtakes on trackers. Jezel's retired from the race and he's out down at, where's that? I think that's I think he just clicked retire on circuit because his car's still driving away. So that's not an ideal scenario there
that's
for
a points deduction
Jesla.
then. If you retire on track, that's a points deduction. So admins, if you're watching, I believe that was a retirement on track. So unless they can prove otherwise that they didn't retire on track and they had a bit of a spin, then a deduction for Jesla's team.
Off, yeah.
So yeah.
What team is Jesla in? Because that's the one team I don't know. I don't recognise.
I've written it down somewhere. That is X Esports.
X Esports. So yeah, let's hope that Jesla didn't retire on second. Otherwise, that's a 5-point deduction. Would that put them onto -5 or keep them on 0?
Well, if they score, it depends if they finish. If they finish, then it will put them probably on. It depends on. They haven't finished, so yeah, it would put them on -5. So they'll be on -5 off the bat. So that's not good. It's confusing. We will get used to the roles afterwards. By the way, I love Kind's livery. That looks beautiful. As he's been passed by Lars. Love the colours, by the way. I don't know how they can get creative with their liveries right now. As they head towards turn number 1, Lars tries to defend from the inside. Kind gets past. We've got Jaco and Brendan. Rivalries from leagues gone by in League of Europe. Jaco, the big boss, gets past Brendan up into 10th place. He's doing a decent job, and I have to say, if any of the admins do horribly in the event, I'm gonna be roasting them when I commentate. So yeah, that's my part. But I'm not roasting Jaco at the moment because he's doing a pretty decent job.
Yeah, he is down in 10th position at the moment for the, I believe, XL team that Jaco
he's
is
got
racing
a penalty.
for. Just the commentator's curse. There we are. 13 laps in, and the first commentator's curse has commenced. And I'm going to keep a note of this, and we'll see how many we can get in these first 3 hours, because I feel there'll be quite a few. As we can see, Keanu now look for a move ahead of Killian to the inside, and Vaporize has pulled away from Killian, and now Keanu, who makes a great move down towards turn 22. Brilliant there from the ABS driver. They head back down now towards turn 27, but DRS have been enabled for Killian, and also Kazizel, who's getting in. We'll see. We'll have a 3-wide moment possibly in towards that final corner. Oh, Kazizel went for a move up the middle there. That's not going to work at all, is it? Kazizel, as they head in towards the final corner, and you can see Killian got a better exit than Keanu. They head back down towards turn 1. AJ gets a move ahead of Daniel. Daniel's still going to fight for that position as well, but I want to keep my eyes on the top 4 battles. You can see now Killian to the inside, Kazizel to the inside as well. They head down towards that first braking zone. Who will be in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th? It will be Killian ahead of Kazizel, ahead of Keanu, but Keanu's going to stick it back up the inside. Bit of contact between the two there, and also Kean Gondor getting involved. They head down towards turn 4, and these guys are getting even more close to the contact. I'm surprised none of them have spun round yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they kept it together, to be honest, as well. I mean, this is great stuff at times, but I wonder if a few people won't be that happy that it has happened, and it might be possibly investigated by the stewards, and if they report it, of course, as we've got a few people making their 2nd stop for rotation, by the way. Don't forget from Cone Racing team that started at the back because of their starting last wild card, and they come in for their 2nd stop. Bearing in mind, if they don't pit 2 stops to get disqualified, King Godendorp gets past Kazizel very nicely indeed, up into 4th position on those soft tyres. So he's making those soft tyres work a treat at the moment, because Kazizel is not going to give up without a fight in that purple car. And you know why I like purple? Because I own a league that has purple colours as well. So I'm a big fan of that already. As we're halfway through in this race, make sure you donate to our charity Special Effects. It's going to some really great courses. I'm sure it will go into more detail later on in the stream as well by all the commentators involved. As Keanu gets past Killian up into 2nd place, but I know Killian is going to get the slipstream in as well. It's going to be potentially 3 or 4 wide in towards turn 1. And look at Vaporizer. He has checked out the rest of the field, and I think Killian is like, you know what, I don't want to get through this traffic right now. I want to have some clear air, get into the pits, get that early undercut, and potentially get past some of these guys. But for the likes of Keanu and Kazizel, 2 3Ks, by the way, it's a tongue twister. They're going to try and see their fights for themselves. But for Keanu, at least, he's going to try and increase that gap for the Thomas team. I can't remember their full title, but there we go.
Thomas Eng Sim Racing.
There we go. They do E-Series, don't they?
Yeah, well, I remember, you know Josh, don't you, Josh Birch? I remember I was talking about TES Sim Race, and he gave me a whole list of what happened with Thomas Heng when he was racing Formula 1. Some very in detail things about when he raced first in Japan and where he qualified, where he finished, and I was like, wow, we learn something new every day. I don't remember the facts at all, because it's been a while since then.
Yeah.
But all I know is that Thomas Heng used to obviously race back in Formula 1 back in, I think it was 2001, beaten Fernando Alonso, I believe it was in qualifying in one of the races, so he was definitely a good talent back then. I believe he does rally now, which is a little bit different to Formula One.
Yeah, I'm not good at rallying, unfortunately. It's all because it all got very close to the back of Kino Lutard and at the exit of Sector 2. That is going to be very tight. And by the way, this track was first used in Formula 1 back in 2021, and it's a 30-kilometre coastal resort area at the ancient Saudi Arabia city of Jeddah. Herman Tilke designed it, as he designed most Formula 1 tracks these days. But any of the drivers come in, Kian comes in, because it all comes in, and Kino Lutard stays out. So does Vaporizer. I'm not too surprised that Vaporizer stayed out, because he wants to potentially go onto the soft compounder tyres, which could potentially get to the end. So that's most people's 2 stops done already. So what tyre is Kian going to go on? I think he's going to go on softs. Yeah, he's going to go onto the soft tyres. That is interesting. Lars, what is he going to do? I think he's going to go on soft. I think most people could go on sauce, but I doubt that will last most of it. But again, they're quicker drivers than me, so they probably can manage their tyres better than me. So yeah, don't trust us with our judgment sometimes. But anyway, that is interesting. He does rally with Toyota, Liam put in the chat. So thanks, Liam Craig. We can always rely on Liam with interesting facts. Anyway, he's racing a little bit later on as well in the 24 hours. So best of luck to you, Liam.
Craig, he's racing on. Indeed, I think he's part of TS as well. You can see as he's talking about TS in the chat. He's
of course.
A bit of PR, a bit of PR there for the team. I believe Liam does a bit of everything. He engineers, manages, drives, does graphics.
The next thing he needs to do is comment. And the next thing he needs to do is commentate.
Yeah,
he should commentate.
We're brilliant. Get everything sorted.
Daniel Gaming, by the way, is chasing down AJ. That those softs are definitely dying on AJ's car. You can see with the traction that Daniel's got on the this back straight and in towards penultimate few corners. I can't remember what corner it is. I think it's turn 23 and 24. A few lag spikes for some of the drivers as Vaporizer and Kino Lutard come in into the pit lane. So does AJ. So I don't think Daniel needs to fight that. But let's watch Killian as he heads towards the start-finish straight of the exit of the turn 27 in towards turn number 1. So Killian to the inside. Gets past Brenda, but more importantly, is he going to be ahead of Vaporizer? The answer to that is, at the moment, yes, but we did see how Vaporizer closed in on Killian that quickly. So just because Killian is ahead now, that doesn't mean Vaporizer will stay behind them. He caught up last time and he did very well, so expect him to do the same again.
Yep, as I'm on board with Keanu, just coming through and towards the end of that first set. She's on the back of because he's got a 1.2 second gap to the driver on the mediums. Actually getting a bit touchy on the curves there. That's going to lose him a bit of time. Lose a bit of that top speed as he heads down in towards turn number 13 to the inside. Obviously, you can run a little bit wide on the exit. Touch the wall if you can. Try not to touch it too hard, obviously, but you want to pretty much ride the walls on this circuit. This is one of those tracks where you have to ride the walls heavily like Monaco and Las Vegas at some elements as well. As you can see now, he's nearly within that 1 second. He's got no DRS on this occasion, but if he can catch up before turn 24, he can get a dose of DRS. Obviously, because of these getting DRS now, they're just going to pull away. As you can see, Vaporizer ahead of... is that Brendan? Because for me, it's Kurad Damahanda on my screen. I believe it's a bit of a different name to what you get, Jeff.
It's Brendan for me. It's Brendan for me. If you're on Steam, it shows something different, which is very, very weird. Anyway, Kazizzle gets past Kian. Oh, no, Kian's going to not back out on this one as well as he tries to fight Brendan in towards the penultimate corner. Brendan, I know, I've commentated many a times in One Hub, and he's done very, very well there. And he's also raced in League of Europe as well. I can't remember what other leagues he raced in, but he does race and he does a brilliant job. I think it's not his first event. He's done many of these 24-hour events, so he is kind of like an expert in these type of things. As Daniel Gaming, by the way, comes in to the pit lane and he's going on to some soft tyres. And, oh, God, that was close between himself and AJ. They were fighting before the pit, and we thought that AJ was going to have the upper hand, but no, due to Daniel's pace, he was able to get some clear air, and he was able to just about get ahead of him. Is he going to stay ahead of him, though? As we head towards the end of the first sector, he's past he's going to now past turn 7 and 8, and then now he's going to head towards the hairpin of, I think it's turn 13. There's so many corners, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, 27 corners, and some of them aren't even corners. There's about,
exactly, that's why I got a bit
5
confused.
or 6, 5 or 6 of them are just sort of kinks to the left. That's not a corner. A corner is when you actually have to turn, not just position the car a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, as we can see the top 3 heading through now in towards this next part of the circuit, then towards turn 27. Now I'm keen to see what Kian and Keanu can do. The 2K sitting in 4th and 5th, currently both with soft tyres. The top 3 all on medium, so these softs will be quicker, undoubtedly quicker than those in the top 3. And so I'm keen to see how Kian and Keanu can work their way through this battle and try and get themselves, if they can, onto the front step of that podium, or at least into that top 3 we can see. Kazizel also gaining in on the back of Vaporizer. Vaporizer making a move for the lead. We've also got Kazizel making his way past Killian as well to take 2nd place. So Vaporizer takes the lead. Kazizel into 2nd and Killian down to 3rd. And we've got Kian catching up. And I'm going to get mixed up with that. We've got 4 Ks in a row. Kazizel, Killian, Kian and Keanu.
So you've got EMM versus Thomas versus Greenfly versus ABS. So those teams, I think, are going to be the ones to watch out for, I'm predicting, as well as NXX. So, yeah, I think those will be the top 5. I think it's going to be closer than ever, not going to lie.
That's a bit wide. That's Killian.
That's Killian that's gone a bit wide. So I wonder what happened there. We just about caught the aftermath on that as well. And look at that. Kino Lutard is caught to the back of him.
Yeah. That was a scary moment. So I thought he was in the wall. He went very wide, and I just saw him disappear. I didn't get to see that he actually turned the car around, so I thought for a second he was in the wall. He was out, but no. He continues on, and Keanu gaining in. He'll have some DRS down towards turn 22. We'll see if he makes a pass there or if he waits to make the pass down towards that first corner, or maybe down towards turn 27. There's 3 DRS zones, all stupidly close together on this circuit. So we'll see now. You can see Keanu gaining, sits back for now. Doesn't want to make the move there. He'll make it in towards the final corner, all down towards turn 1. You can see that gap between him, between Killian and Keane is 1.4 seconds. Though ideally, Keanu wants to make the pass and also keep himself some DRS down that first straight in order to try and catch up before they get towards turn 1, or at least catch up when they get into turn 1. You can see now lifting off in towards the corner yet again. Keanu is going to the move down towards that first corner. He's got the DRS yet again. He's got a little bit of battery to use. He's not going to use too much. Obviously, he wants to have some left in the tank. As you can see, he pulls to the inside line and just completely flies past Killian. Nothing that the TS driver can do there to defend that position. And Killian now down to P5 in this race. We can see Keanu trying to catch back up. Is he within a second of Kian? No, he's not, but he's very close. He's 1.1 seconds back, so we'll see whether he can get himself back in towards that 1 second. As further back, we can see Daniel still having an argument with AJ, and I think at the moment, AJ's livery is probably my favourite. I think that red and white is beautiful.
Yes, that is absolutely wonderful for these guys, not going to lie. And I'm glad that we decided to put the multiplayer cars on, because to be honest, the template's not the best on this game, but I don't know how these guys have come up with such fantastic liveries. It's gonna be hard to choose, not gonna lie. And this race has gone very, very quickly so far, and we're almost at the end of this race. So make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the event. It's going to be absolutely crazy. We've got more wild cards and extra incentives than ever, not gonna lie. And we're almost halfway into reaching our goal already. We only almost done one now, which is crazy. So make sure you do keep donating. And Liam has put in the chat that Killian, mate, you're beat. So Killian, I wonder if he's going to push for that, because Liam thinks that he's driving horribly. I wonder, is that going to push out? He is catching though, so even though that slight spin has not compromised him too much, which shows that he is a quick driver, not guys. We're about to start lap 21 of 25 as Daniel gets past AJ, but I think AJ's going to have the DRS in towards turn 27.
Yep, as they head down back towards turn 1, AJ's got a decent run out on the back of Daniel. To the outside he goes. No, yes, to the outside. That looks like it hit the back of him then for a second as they head down towards that first corner. Daniel now will suffer in 7th position, but he will get that DRS next time then to the DRS. So for these two, it's just going to be swap every single lap as the race goes on until lap 25, which is in 4 laps time, where obviously we'll see who gets that position, whether it's AJ, Daniel, or none of them. We'll see. Maybe they come to contact, or maybe one of them makes a big mistake. That could also come into fact. But the top 5 all involved in that battle for the lead. King Gondor, remember, started down in P6 and he's now in 3rd. So he's doing a brilliant job for his team. Obviously, Green Fly Racing. I'll see Frankie's in. I know Frankie was probably the one behind that name. F7R Frankie. He's always been known as a green fly. I don't know why. His Discord profile picture is also at one point a green fly. He's obsessed with green
this
flies.
weekend. It's for this weekend. He's even changed his Discord because of that. When I was adding people onto Discord later, I've seen Tiger Hardy's done that as well, and basically all the S7R guys. And Jay Van Bussel, I'm commentating on a little bit later on. I'm excited for that as well. Most of them are on PC now, and they used to be on the PS side as well. And Kean have done a great job on the PS side, and he's doing a pretty decent job on the PC side, if I'm not too mistaken, as well, adapting
brilliant.
to that very, very well. So, yeah, I think I remember he was in PSF 6 a couple of seasons ago. So he's definitely.
PSF 6?
Yeah, I think it was like season 30 or 20. I can't remember. It was on the early days of my PSGL commentary, but he was low down, and now he's in PCF 2, which is absolutely incredible. So, yeah, Greenfly doing a great job in third. But we still got the battle for the lead. I know it's race 1, and I know the championship's not going to be decided until tomorrow at about
But it means a lot.
12-ish. But it means a lot to win the first race of the event.
Yeah, it does. And, well, if you win one and you don't win the others, at least you know you can come away with a victory at some point, you know, at least come away with a podium, because you never know what's going to happen. In the next 21 races, they could be unlucky as hell and not get anywhere. But at least I know they can say we came up with a victory at one point. So, yes, as we can see, Liam said in the chat, Kean in F122 was in PSF 6, and I was saying to Dan last night on Thursday in the PSGL comms that I think Kean's probably driver of the season there.
Yeah, I agree.
Quick he's moved over. Honestly, it's very nice to see drivers adapt so quickly, because they're different platforms. I've heard that PS reacts a lot differently to PC, apparently. So, hats off to him.
Yeah, it's a bit more input lag than PC. As always, very tight. Vaporizer trying to get the move from Kazizzle in towards turns 24 and 25. Kean's going to be boxed in as we said that. Could we see our second commentator's curse off the stream? We don't want that. I've already had one with Jacob. We don't want to get another one with Kean Godendorp as we're about to start lap 23 out of 25. Kean Alutard, unfortunately, is out of this one because he's got a penalty. But for this top 3, it's going to be very, very feisty. Entry towards turn number 1. Kean to the left-hand side. Kazizzle to the right. They're keeping on the road, which is really great to see. Just about avoids the wall as well. With the apexes being so close to the wall, there is little margin for error, and Vaporizer must be very, very wide with Kazizzle and Kean right behind him, and also Daniel and AJ trying to do exactly the same thing. Daniel getting past, we've got Kyan as well in a PA. I can't remember what team they're from, but they're also getting involved in this fight as well. We've got Leroy Hazelaga and Derry trying to go for a move in towards the final corner and towards turn 27. We are getting coverage from all the teams today as well, even if they're in the back as well, because Leroy trying to defend from the left-hand side in towards turn number 1. I can't remember which driver has DRS, but Leroy just about gets the upper hand from Derry up into 40. But I believe Derry's from Esports Wales, if I'm not too mistaken. So even though they're not a team now, they are racing just for this event. And let's go back to the lead, because I think I won't be surprised if any of the top 3 maybe make contact and Killian comes towards and wins the race.
It's possible, but don't curse Killian now. He's going to end up being the one that gets contact now. You said that, Jess. So, well done in advance. As we can see, actually, Killian's getting in on the back and taps back at Keanu towards turn 27 as well to add on to that one. And he gets wing damage as well at the wall, I think. We'll see if he got damage, but he hit the wall. I don't know if he's going to be damaged enough as we head in towards turn 1. And will we see Kean get back for moving to second place? Vaporizer's gaining in on Kazizzle's getting in on Vaporizer, but hasn't got to move. Killian to the inside line of Keanu. They go side by side, heading into turn 3 towards turn 4. Killian has the inside line, so now these mediums, Jez, I think, might be a little bit better than the softs, because now Killian's got himself past Keanu, dispatched him as Keanu was another bit of a slider. You can see Kean, though, still looking to get himself ahead of Kazizzle. So for one driver, the softs are dropped off, for the other, far from it seems.
Yeah, it looks like it at the moment, isn't it? Hopefully the stream's still okay, because it says OBS was running out of memory for a little bit. But I think hopefully we're all good. But we're about to start the final lap